Yeah, hello, my beautiful and awesome viewers. Welcome to my platform, Timo Starboy, Reality Talk TV. Yeah, yeah. Good evening. Good evening over here. Good morning over there, and good afternoon over there. So, at your location time. So I greet you. I greet you all. So we're about to start the program now. So please join us on YouTube and as well as Twitter and Facebook. So we're streaming on the tree. So please join us and continue liking and share our program, okay? And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Facebook and Twitter. So Timo Starboy Reality Talk TV on YouTube, Timo Starboy Channel Blogs on Facebook, and Timo Oladipo 1. So thank you, thank you. I love you all. So let's begin. So I will begin with the news of today. The news of today, this they have elected Asiwaju according to the INEC fraudulent this thing, the election, the INEC fraudulent election. Because as we all know that this election is not a fair election, it's not credibility fair election, because everybody knows that there is a dubious, all this they are manipulating, giving some voting to some people that they don't deserve. So, and they are doing their strong head. They don't want to listen to nobody. It's like there's no democracy on the line. They are doing their thing, in the way that they want. They are making the justice on their own. So all this thing is not a democracy we want. It's not a democracy. It's not a democracy. They are just implementing on their own, and they forget about our judiciary. Our judiciary system is there, and although it has been collapsed since, because judiciary system is not working, since they have been bribing all those our judges. They have been giving them under the table money, all those things. Bribing and corruption is all over the places, as you all know. So our judiciary system has been collapsed since. So me particularly, I don't believe in our judiciary system, because it's not something that you can talk about. It has been collapsed because they are the one that they make it, and they broke it. They broke it down. So it's unfortunate that maybe this thing might lead to the judiciary corner, or they will take it to the street. Only God knows that. But as of this evening, I'm hearing some breaking news that some citizen in Abuja, they have taken it to the street. So I will show you the video later on. I will show you all the video, because I'm with a plenty video here to show you, and you will be excited. So before we go further, I would like us to, as usual, our national anthem is very important. So national anthem for Yoruba Nation. So let's begin with our national anthem, and we move further to the day program. So let me look for it here. It's just getting exciting, all the day. Every breaking news on the internet, it's not easy. Everybody is fighting for their neck because of all this problem INEC injected in our system. So anyway, let me play this national anthem and we go on. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the new.
Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wá, orílẹ̀-èdè wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fáyé rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé láti bẹ̀rù làwọn mọ́. Ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ni ẹ jẹ́ ká máa lè bá. Tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ̀, ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ òun adúláwọ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, mo dúpẹ́. So ká wá wọ agbami ètò tá ní fún wa lénìí yìí, àkíkà ni. Ẹ kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu Arise TV, one of the hosts. So olóṣọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ìtùnú ló sọ. So ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí ọ̀rọ̀ tó máa jẹ́ kí èèyàn mọ level ibi tó yẹ kó wà. So òun ló bá wa sọ lórí election yìí. So ẹ gbọ́ díẹ̀, English ló sọ. So ìbá máa translate ẹ̀, ìbá máa analyse ẹ̀ tó bá ṣe ń lọ. Okay, so let's move on. Go on.
Congratulations to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his president-elect. The city boy has finally done well in the big city.
Yeah.
Give him all his flowers. He got in there in the nick of time. He said, Emilio, what they call you, he's president-elect today. Give him all the flowers, give him all the accolades. Congrats to him.
Accolade.
But how did he win?
That is the question of the day.
He won an election
How did
that
he
was
win?
very divided.
How?
That INEC broke its own laws, pure and simple. He won an election where INEC reneged on his own promise. And people started talking, but INEC wouldn't listen when it's been shown he broke his own laws. INEC said, I will hurriedly go ahead, but people pointed to INEC that he broke his own laws. As sections 60 of the Electoral Act that deal with transmission of results. People now are making the argument, INEC guideline. Is INEC guideline law? Let's not deceive ourselves. The guidelines were there, and they are laws to be used for the elections. If there were no guidelines,
Please welcome.
if people are asking, is guideline a
Welcome to the
law?
program. You are welcome.
Why can't people just come to the polling units and do anything they want if there are no guidelines on how they should vote? Because the argument now is very funny. And the law is the law and the guidelines. And Section 160 of the Nigerian Constitution, with a proviso, says that INEC can make its own laws without needing approval from the president. It is there. So INEC went ahead to break its own guidelines by not transmitting results. It's as simple as that. And that is the context here. I keep hearing people talking about 25%. That's a red herring. The substantive issue here is that the INEC violate its own guidelines.
Yeah.
When people argue
No doubt.
all sorts, I ask them, please, for those that went to vote, If the guidelines do not matter, you just try thumbprinting your hands in such a way that you thumbprint one in one party and you use another hand to thumbprint another one in one party. The votes are invalid, isn't it? So that's the way it's a nullity. As long as you do not transfer, it's a nullity. Also, the capacity to be able to challenge another array count is there in Section 71 of the Electoral Act. These things are expressly stated there. As long as you do not follow it, it's a nullity. But the court will be the one to decide that. But these are the laws of the land. I mean, Dr. Abbott, you were chief marker, examiner, lecturer par excellence for so many years. If I was in your literature class and you gave me an examination, Dr. Abbott, and you say answer 2 out of 4, and I answer 4, what would you do? Are you not going to cancel the 2 I answered and mark the only 2 that you stipulated I should answer? These arguments are crystal clear. But you know, when you call 13 lawyers in a room, you have 13 different opinions. But it is the Supreme Court, and it's incumbent on the Supreme Court to reinforce the trust of the people. For the 25%, oh, this reminds me of 1979. Fatai Williams, of blessed memory, clumsily worded, but semantically unambiguous. Those were the exact words used there. The law was clumsily worded, but semantically unambiguous. We all know the definition of and. Yeah. The 1979 Constitution that cascades down to the 1999 Constitution. The 1979 Constitution is stated expressly 1/4 over 2/4 over 2/3 in the 19 states of the Federation as it was then. There was no and FCT. Lagos was FCT. Wasn't the Federal Capital Territory. Wasn't the capital of the country. But if the Constitution in this regard says and FCT, and FCT, Rufai, standalone entity, Dr. Abati, Mr. Efeni, and Ayo. I don't know too much, but these are the arguments out there. You can even take it as I no go school. Moving forward, President Muhammadu Buhari, his letter of congratulations reminded me pretty much of the letter or the words said by Umar Musa Yar'Adua after he won in 2007. He said, we can't say the elections have been absolved of faults. The beavers did not work. But this was what was stipulated in the law that the beavers would work. It's also stated in the Electoral Act that a place where the beavers does not work is as good as elections not holding there. But there were places the beavers did not work, the elections were counted. Just like Umar Musa Yar'Adua said that, I know the elections that brought me was fraught with irregularities.
Nigeria.
And what did he go further to do? He set up the Ways Commission.
Nigeria, Jaga Jaga.
Congratulations and all of that. Once again, congratulations to the city boy. But in his own speech, yes, I ask, was the speech for his party members or for the Nigerian people? Because all I heard was strictly about his party members, congratulating all of them, going further to remind us how some party agents have not even been paid because of the Naira crunch. Then congratulated Baba Didi Ogala, Abi, Dr. Abati, and said, thank you for the good work you did for taming the gorilla. I heard it. I'm sure some people will argue with me that I didn't hear that. Was that complimentary at the first speech in the international community? Was it about the people that voted for you or the sufferings of the millions of people out there?
It's a shame.
But anyway, in fairness to him, He reiterated the promises. He says he will do Nigeria well. And we, the media, will hold him accountable. We will ask the questions. I just hope we are not stifled when we start to ask the questions. I just hope we are allowed to do our jobs. But he also went further to call on the three other opponents and said, work with me, we want to build Nigeria. We have to build Nigeria. And congratulations to him, because whatever we might say now, pending any, legal case, is our president-elect. And he has become for all of us now. He has become the number one statesman. And the things we give statesmen are gifts of kudos when he's right, and criticisms. Criticisms are the engine, is the oil that oils the engine of any nation to success.
Yeah.
So we congratulate him. But all those vitriol against other people were needless. The international community, everybody was watching that first attempt. He has started by going to the courts. So we might as well continue the legal battle, because the case was filed, like Dr. Batty said, in Kano yesterday, and the legal fireworks have opened. It is going to be a lot of long nights of litigation, and lawyers will be richer than anything else.
Hey.
I'm sure they are sharpening everything, getting ready. They have a right to earn their decent pay, please, don't get me wrong. But the big question will be, our national anthem
Atrocity.
says to build a
Take
nation
over.
where peace and justice shall reign. The question on our table as Nigerians this morning, and kudos to you, hard-fighting Nigerians, that came out to believe in this country once again, despite all that has happened. Because you are the real heroes. Whatever mandate is the mandate of you, the Nigerian people. But I'll leave you with this. Have we built a country where justice shall reign to be able to beget peace?
I doubt
If
it.
we have not built that country, I'd like to quote the words of Che Guevara. Hasta Victoria mi sempre. Until we build that country where peace and justice shall reign.
Yes.
Hasta Victoria mi sempre. Congratulations.
Sorry. Let me go. Okay. You see people. This is people protesting. They are protester at the Abuja area. We no go agree. We won't vote. We no go agree. We won't go agree. We won't vote. Jerry. Ìlú tí ń dàrú. This is the first step. Ṣé ti gbọ́? This is just a first step. It's a four step. Ìlú tí ń dàrú. These are the protestants at the Abuja area, at the collation center. They say they are not go agree. INEC, we don't agree your result. Your result is compromised. As you can see, people are shouting. They say they no go agree. They no go agree. Let me show you again before we move on. Tertiary. These are the people protesting. They say they no go agree. Both women and the young people. They are the young people on the street. We want our vote. We want our vote. We no go agree. That's what they are shouting. So, we will move on. We move on. Let me search you another video. There's so much video here to play, and this is my own job now. You know, it's my own job now. We will play it according to how it comes. People are angry. People are upset. People are upset. You don't know where this is going to escalate to. Sorry, I'm looking for the video. Seems that it's here. Okay, this one is see this one. Let me put it.
The election was conducted without results, and later they now bring a fake result for us to record the already result.
Let me start it from the beginning.
So the only
Where is the fake one? No.
You see this guy? He was one of the INEC working officer.
The election was conducted without results, and later they now bring a fake result for us to record the already result that we have gotten. So the only
Where is the fake one?
Yeah, what he's saying.
Open it as soon. Open with very well. These are the fake one. Where is the original one?
The only original one is the presidential candidate one.
Speak loud. So, what do you say is your name?
I'm Benebala.
Were you trained to upload results?
No, they said they will give us.
Were you trained to upload results?
But they don't give us.
You were
the
trained by
link.
INEC
Yes.
to upload results.
Yes.
So
But
what?
they did not give us a link and the password. They say until they will come. And that's the time they will give us. And even when the RATEC came to this polling unit, we asked him to give us the link and the password.
What unit is this?
Unit 119.
Let me repeat it, just in case you don't grab it. What he's saying. After I will analyze it. This is the guy, one of the officer, one of the working officer in this thing at the polling unit
The election
for
was
INEC.
conducted without results. And later they now
It's an
bring
INEC
the
workers.
results for us to record the already result that we have gotten. So the only
Where is the fake one? Open it as soon.
As you can see, their atrocity. All this one is an evidence.
These are the fake one. Where is the original
Evidence to
the only
prove.
original one is the presidential candidate one.
Speak loud. So, what do you say is your name?
I'm Benebala.
Were you trained to upload results?
No, they said they will give us.
Were you trained to upload results?
It wasn't training.
You were trained by INEC to upload results. So
But
what?
they did not give us a link and the password. They say until they will come. And that's the time they will give us. And even when the RATEC came to this polling unit, we asked him to give us the link and the password.
What unit is this?
Unit 119.
As you can see, so this guy, they were not trained properly to handle the beavers, and they are not giving them the link, as he was saying, according to him, So somebody that is working for you, and you are not training them, and they are doing all sort of error job, and you don't know how to conduct them. Is that illegal something? I'm asking you guys, is it illegal? Is it illegal work? So for you to know that this thing has been compromised, this result has been doctored, the result has been doctored, and there is like a maybe dubious. There's a dubious way, short corner way on this election. It's not free and fair election for anybody to see, because we have seen it on the internet. They are throwing some ballots inside the gutter, they burn some, they tear some, they carry some away. So this thing is not a free and fair election, and the people are asking them to redo it again. Since you have failed the Nigerians, you fail us. We say no, we should do it again. I'm not the one who is asking, because me, I don't believe in one Nigeria. I don't believe at all. Ever since I've been agitating, ever since I've been coming out to talk about freedom, I never believe in one Nigeria, because it's a fraud. One Nigeria is a fraud to me. So I even campaign on my own platform here for the people not to step out, because you cannot trust them. You cannot trust these people. There's no trust in them. They have failed us several times. They lied to us. So once they have been lying, the liars always be liars. They will continue lying, because these people, they are dubious. It's just like a thief. You say a thief has been repentant, you say repent. It never repent in his soul, because it will still do some mago thing. It will still stealing something. It might not do it in your face, but you will be doing it idly. So you cannot trust them. These people, you can't trust them. You can't rely on them. I just don't know why people they are so gullible. They don't know they are right from the left. How can you be trusting somebody that is not keeping their promise in the first place? They are not keeping their promise. They are not keeping their promise in the first place. All what they are doing is a lie. All what they are doing is a lie. If they open their mouth, they will lie. Everywhere, every corner. So how can you rely on them? How can you say you trust them? Somebody that is telling you, he will tell you A today, he will tell you B tomorrow. How can you rely on that one? How can you believe on them? For us, we don't believe on a liar. We don't believe on somebody that is dubious. Because only one time they can fool you. If they have been fooling you all the time, that means you are a fool forever. They can fool some people sometimes, they cannot fool the people all the time. If they have been fooling you all the time, you are believing them, okay, let's trust them, let's do this. That means you are totally a fool. You yourself, you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want. You can't trust these people, because they've been lying. They will tell you they want to do this, they will fix electricity, they will give you water, they will give you road. At the end of it, they will not do anything. They base their life is based on lying. Once you are a liar, once you are a thief, once you are a rogue, you are a rogue. There's nothing you can do about that. There is nothing you can do about that. You can't change that. It's in their gene. So that is why we are telling you not to go out and vote, because you are just wasting your time. You will be wasting your time, you will be wasting your energy, you will be wasting your resources. The time you're supposed to be going out to get money, to make your day, your daily bread, you'll be wasting it on all these nonsense people that they've been lying for the rest of their life, for the whole of their life, and they continue lying. Look at outcome now. Look at what is going on now. Look at what is going on now. You cannot trust them. They are not a reliable person. They are not reliable. So let me play you this AU observers mission for this our election, because these two they have observed about the mission of the election and how they talk about it. So let me play it to you and you listen. So okay, sorry.
Regards making a difference, each election observation.
Still in Abuja, where European Union election observers are giving their report on the ongoing Nigerian election.
They are from EU
as regards
observers
making a difference,
to this election.
each election observation mission
listen.
stands on its own merits. So we deployed here in early January and we began our process then. Nevertheless, our methodology means that we come back sometimes within 3 or 4 years, to examine whether or not the previous missions'
Somebody's calling me. Sorry.
conclusions and recommendations are.
Hello? Yeah. I'm on the program now. Can I call you when I finish? Yeah, I'm on program. You can even tune in. You can tune in on my Facebook or just anyone you have. You'll see me there, even yesterday, Tiki was watching me, So you can tune in on my Facebook. I'm on live now, okay? Okay, take care, bro. Yeah. Sorry. It might be, Okay, let's continue.
And recommendations are leading to actual implementation. And the previous mission came back a year ago and examined the 30 recommendations and found that 13 of them were already implemented.
European Union Association,
which is, I think,
they are giving their observation to our
efforts serve to deepen the roots of democracy here in Nigeria, and we think it's the investment of time and expertise of our core team, our long-term observers, is appreciated, and if there is criticism, it is received in the spirit in which it's given, which is a mutual respect and an insistence on standards of democracy, which Nigeria already aligns itself to, and the standards that are contained in legislation here in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. The Chief Observer will take more questions if there are more questions. Just one here. Yes, please.
Afternoon. My name is Chiamaka Okafo. I work for Premium Times. I have a few questions. First is to Mr. Andrews. In your speech, you made mention of lack of transparency and proper planning from INEC. I'd like you to expatiate on that. And so the part of the EP delegation talked about the instigation of violence and, of course, violence through the process on Saturday. Two questions there. Are you concerned about post-election violence? Did you get that? Post-election violence. And then secondly, like your counterparts, the US and the UK, there's been a promise to impose visa bans and sanctions on people who are found culpable for instigating violence through this process. Are you also looking at that too for political parties or political actors who are found guilty? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question.
So what they are saying about this, all these INEC people, especially the chairman, they say if they find them guilty, if they find them guilty on their own research that these people, they manipulate the election, they will be refusing them visa to come to Europe or anywhere. That is what they are calling, all this organization is all about, This their observation. They say in this election, if they find anything error and anything like a duplicate, like anything foul play on this our election, that they will be refusing them visa. That is what they are saying now. They are just discussing about it. So this Mamadou Abi, what is his name? Be prepared the consequences of what you face on the European panel, So Mamadou Jaga, what is your name? I don't even remember your name, because somebody that is so desperate, you are so desperate to be changing the electoral value system, You want to be conducting it in your own way, That will not be allowed. It will never be allowed, It can never be allowed, because we are the citizen. We are the citizen, and you cannot ruin our life. You cannot ruin us. You are only just voter controller. You are not the top. And if maybe the president is the one who is sending you the message, tell him that it's foul. We will not take it. We will not take it. Enough is enough. So continue. Let continue the video.
On the transparency, one of the we first of all we acknowledge that INEC had to conduct this election in challenging circumstances, and we are very conscious that the Electoral Act provides a very important legislative basis and framework that instilled a lot of trust in INEC in the run-up to the election from political participants and encouraged many people to take part. However, the publication of figures in relation to permanent voting cards and how they had been distributed across polling units was not made available. The information about the distribution of permanent voting cards across states was made available very late in the process, so that it was very difficult for civil members of the public here in Nigeria to verify or in any way audit.
So let me put lotion to this, what this man is saying. You see, in time of our government, Nigeria government particularly, they are saying that they are say maybe they are free and fair election that they are conducting, and this is a democracy they are practicing. In this problem now, I don't think, and nobody think that they are practicing democracy. This is communist art. It's a communist art. This only happened in China, whereby they will be suppressing some people in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, and so as well as North Korea and Russia. They are the people that they are controlling their people because they are communist. So now they are practicing communist in Nigeria. If people don't know, the way we see it, they are practicing communist. Because if you are saying you cannot listen to people's idea, the people comment, that's mean you are not practicing democracy. You are not democratic country. Because people are telling you this is wrong. You are broke your own rules. You are broke your own laws. And you should reverse back. Take a look at the error. You say no, you will continue on your own opinion. You are only one man. Only one man show. You cannot justify on every else, all the else. Orí kan ni ẹ́. Ṣé o fẹ́ orí kan tiẹ̀, o fẹ́ ó ju gbogbo igba orí lọ? Your own one head, does it big more than the rest of the head? You have to listen to opinion. You listen to opinion. That's how you gather your things right. You cannot just say, I will continue, I will do this with your own strong head. It cannot work. It cannot work. It cannot work on a communist this thing in a group whereby they are practicing democratic. It's only working in a democratic in a communist way. In a democratic way, it cannot work. It can never work. So you have to bear the consequences for this. You have to bear the consequences, because all this thing is just like you people. You have power, and you want to utilize your power on suppressing people. You are suppressing people, and this is what we say no to. We say no. It can never happen. You cannot suppress us. You cannot, because we are more than you people. So enough is enough. My guy, let's play the video more.
The accuracy of those PVC numbers. And clearly that goes to the transparency of the election.
Yeah.
And it is an area which we have noted in our preliminary statement. I just mentioned I'll let Evan speak to the question that was directed to her on security in due course. But on visa bans, the mandate of this mission is
Sorry.
Of any sort. We're here simply to observe the mission. That's a matter for the European Union, the European Council. We are aware that other jurisdictions have made those calls, but it doesn't fall within the mandate of this mission whatsoever. We can consider it an interference in the process. We're here simply to do that, and that's what has engendered a high degree of trust and credibility on the type of findings, conclusions, and recommendations that we make. So I'll hand over, Evan, if you want to address the question about security.
Thank you very much, Barry, and thank you for the question. As stated in the statement, we of course condemn all kind of violence that have taken place, and we also call on all actors to adhere and respect the rules that are in place, and in any case of any disputes, that all disputes are sorted out through legal procedures. So this is our call on all actors in Nigeria, that all disputes should be sorted out through legal procedures, and we hope that everybody will respect and adhere to that. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are still taking more questions, please. Yes, please go ahead, introduce yourself and the meeting.
My name is Vale Musa, for if you are going to give this election, put you on the spot, we are going to give you a right. What's going to be your mark on it?
Okay, guys. So the question was, what mark would we give to the election? Now, our methodology doesn't allow for anything as clear as a mark. You can give a mark to me as a performing as a chief observer if you wish, but so we judge and we quite around election observation. And also on the criteria that are contained in international conventions, like the Convention on Civil and Political Rights.
Sorry guys, it's a network problem.
And against the legislative framework that applies here in Nigeria. So, and I also want to emphasize that we're midway through the process. The collation and tabulation is still going on as we speak in other parts of Abuja and across the country. So it would be, it's certainly not something that we would do in any circumstances, but we try to assess the election on the basis of inclusivity, on transparency and credibility, and we'll continue to gather up information as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you again. Do we have more questions?
All right, that's Barry Andrews, Chief Observer with the European Union Election Observers, the European Mission, giving their observation.
Yeah, please listen to this one. I told you, I promise you, we play a lot of video here so that you can learn from their mistake, INEC. The mistake INEC made, and they don't want to amend it.
Which are yet to be uploaded via Beavers to INEC results viewing website IREV in accordance with the Electoral Act. The party said this at a press conference in Abuja where it explained the decision of its agent to stage a walkout at the National Collation Center in Abuja. The PDP is asking the only results already uploaded in the INEC results viewing portal should be announced at the Collation Center.
Consequent on the above section 64 of the Electoral Act 2022, any result announced by INEC is ultra-virus, illegal, and of no consequence whatsoever, unless they are results already transmitted directly from the polling units. So procedurally, INEC cannot continue to announce results that are yet to be transmitted as expressly stated in the relevant sections of the Electoral Act. The integrity of this election has been compromised and vitiated by the admission of INEC officials that there was a technical glitch in the midst of the election which affected the effective functioning of the Beavers machines.
Yeah.
The Labour Party says it has lost confidence in INEC with the results being announced. The Director General of the Labour Party, Balogun Akin-Oshitohun, says the party is calling on INEC to suspend further announcement of election results and cancel the entire election process as it does not adhere to the tenets of a free and fair election. He's asking INEC to conduct fresh polls that adhere strictly to what is enshrined in the electoral laws.
It's normal thing to
Labour
do.
Party campaign spokesperson Dele Farotimi says rejection of results by the party is not a call to cause havoc, but what the party sees as crucial.
We regret to state that we've lost confidence in the results being collated and being announced. Nigerians have inundated us with calls and protests over INEC's non-compliance with provisions of the electoral guidelines and the obvious manipulations of the election results. We hereby call on INEC to suspend further announcement of the results and follow its own guidelines or completely cancel the entire election and make plans for another election with strict compliance with the stipulated laws and guidelines.
We don't need to incite anybody. Nigerians came out in record numbers, the way they haven't come out since 30 years ago. The last time there was that level of turnout was in 1993. And they are currently engaged in electoral fraud. It is for them to maintain peace on the street. We have only called for calm at this conference. We have not at any point in time sought to exacerbate things. They actually want us to be fighting. And we are not interested in fighting, and we urge Nigerians to be calm.
The Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress has accused the main opposition parties, the People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, of seeking to use the court to stop the ongoing collation of results. The campaign, in a statement, Festus Keyamo, stated that the Electoral Act prohibits the court from stopping the conduct of elections in Nigeria. He stated that the aggrieved parties cannot use the court to stop the electoral process as it is against Section 84 of the Electoral Act, which prohibits the grant of injunctions to stop the holding of elections. Joining us now is Dele Farotimi, a lawyer and human rights advocate. Good morning, Mr. Farotimi, and welcome to Nigeria Decides 2023. All right, so we saw you a few...
Good morning, Ayo.
You're welcome. We saw you just a few seconds ago there, speaking alongside the DG of the Labour Campaign Council, Presidential Campaign Council, speaking about the general assessment of the elections and that INEC should be calling off the INEC chair to call off not just the announcement of the results, but the elections in some parts of the country. He said it is not to incite the public, but just a stance as to the conduct of the election thus far. I'd like you to please speak further on your view.
Good morning, Prof. Good morning, Rufai. You know, we bandy a lot of words around in our country, and they really mean what the originators of those words intended when they were coming together. What happened on the 25th of February cannot by any stretch of the imagination qualify as an election. And I speak to the way INEC systematically stole the right of the Nigerians, and the Prof broke every word that he gave to Nigerians sometime last year. I remember that press conference where he famously touted the prowess of INEC and sanctity of the election conducted based on beavers. He then went on to tell us all about IREV and how we'll be able to view our results in real time. But there was something interesting. Every time I've had to listen to that speech again this morning. There's something very interesting about that speech. He kept referring to the right of citizens to the sanctity of their electoral choices. The word citizen kept resounding. Every time it spoke to citizenship. And I have argued strenuously, not only on your show or your platform, but severally in books. I have said that Nigerians are not citizens. And at every opportunity that the Nigerian state and its agencies have been given to prove that we are indeed citizens, it has never failed to seize the opportunity to demonstrate the fact of our non-citizenship. What happened was that I and my wife voted at 8:43. We expected our results to be uploaded as severally advertised by INEC. But the truth of the matter is, from the beginning of the process earlier in the day until it ended at 1:43 in the morning when the votes at my own polling unit were counted, and they told us there were no network, of course. And yet, we're seeing all sorts of fantastic results. We're seeing violence everywhere. None of the things promised to guarantee the sanctity of this election happened. We saw in broad daylight in places where you have cameras and people can record, people being told clearly that because you are from this ethnic side or divide, you can't vote here. Whether the person might even have wanted to vote their preferred candidate, they were unwilling to even consider that. The fact of your ethnicity simply meant that you could not vote because the state had abandoned those who should be citizens to those to whom it has subcontracted the governance of the state. And you see the police standing right there, not saying a word in protection of those who should be citizens. Let me be clear. I am going to be 55. I've seen a few elections. The closest I've seen to what they are calling election right now was the 1983 election. I will tell you this, and I reiterated as much yesterday at the press conference. We gain nothing by violence. Those who have done this always expected that the aggrieved would either go to court or go on the street, or they will do both. We are not going to the street. We are not going to the street. But we are clear that what emerged yesterday, those who are lawyers who speak Dogon Turenchi and quote all the relevant sections, I'm a retired lawyer and I'm not interested. I have no confidence whatsoever in the capacity of the judiciary to bring about anything called justice out of this mess that was conducted yesterday. My point is very clear. The Nigerian state should simply tell us that we are not citizens. But what happened yesterday is not an election. I'm not going to tell my children that I stood by and I allowed them to label this an election. Even if you pronounce my candidate, Peter Gregory Obi, as the winner of this election, put me on record. It wasn't an election. Some people simply sat down somewhere and marched all over the right of those they call Nigerian citizens. That's not an election. And the person, whoever comes out of this, will lack legitimacy. Let me be clear from day one. This is not an election. It's not an election. Well, nothing legitimate can be battered by that fraud.
Well, Festus Keyamo, spokesperson for the APC Presidential Campaign Council, says the Labour Party and the PDP are looking for court injunctions to stop the elections in its interpretation in violation of Section 84 of Section 15 of the Electoral Act. Meanwhile, Balogun Akinshintokun has said, should there be street protests, nobody should blame the Labour Party. Previously, the same Keyamo had accused the Labour Party of trying to incite Nigerian youths to reenact NSAS, to have NSAS 2.0 in this regard to protest against the process that you have described as lacking in legitimacy. What exactly is the game plan of the Labour Party, to speak directly about your party's plans? Because it appears that the INEC chairman is not listening to the protest. 13 other political parties refused to walk out yesterday. They said the process should continue. INEC chairman is saying, confront us with the facts if you want us to stop announcing results. We're not going to respond simply to emotions. So what's the game plan? What is likely to happen? Because it looks like the National Coalition Center will reconvene today, as promised.
Well, I'll break your questions into two parts. There is a part where you are asking me to react to what the learned silk, don't forget he's a silk. When you call his name, remember to add SAN. Festus Keyamo SAN. He knows a lot of law, but he knows nothing. He knows absolutely nothing about justice. Whatever he once knew of justice is forgotten since. But let me not speak to his person, but it's impossible to speak to anything he says because it really makes sense. And he hasn't made sense with any of the things that he has said. I'm saying to you clearly that we have zero confidence. I'm speaking for myself. I know there are two tracks to this. Those who believe that our courts are capable of delivering justice will go right ahead and seek justice through that path. I have zero belief that justice can be found in a judicial system.
No voting at all.
And it is little better than...
That was a drama.
I'll be insulting prostitutes, honest workers, if I call our judiciary a brothel. So let me leave that. If some people want to go to the court, they can go. I have no confidence in it, and I've stated my position clearly. And anybody can challenge me on the fact. We can have that discussion about governors. We can have that discussion about Machina. We can have that discussion about the Apabio case. We can talk about it. So many cases. So let's just leave that for now. So those who want to go and be speaking Dogon Turenchi in the judiciary with Ogbeni Keyamo SAN can go ahead and be speaking their Dogon Turenchi. I have no truck with that, and I'm not part of any legal team talking about going to court. I have no confidence. I'm making that clear. It's not true. I've been saying that. That's
our judiciary system is totally flat.
Blackmail of NSAS. You know, the tragedy of Nigeria
it's totally
is that
out.
We continue to believe that the more we run away from the truth, the closer we can come to justice. And that's the saddest part. When they fish out NSAS and bring out the specter of violence, they conveniently forget that the specter of violence in question was not one generated, sustained, or caused by the protesters. The only things protesters at NSAS had were flags and the national anthem. Maybe their water bottles.
Yeah.
They shared their food and drink with the law enforcement agencies all around them. We saw Nigerian state here in Abuja ferrying urchins and thugs around to attack peaceful protesters. I was in Lagos. We saw buses, Lagos state government buses, bringing thugs to come and attack protesters. None of those protesting raised a single violent voice, bucklers of weapons.
So bad.
It was in this same country that armless protesters at the toll gate were massacred. That is the word of a panel of inquiry, not set up by me, set up by the Lagos state government. Unanimous finding. They will continue to deny that it happened, but I challenge them to deny that they paid 100 million in two tranches of 50 million in compensation to those who lost lives, the families of those who lost lives and limbs. They paid it in cash. Ask Jide Sanwo-Olu and his commissioner for information. If I'm lying, let them deny it. They paid the money in cash and they continue denying that people were killed. And then when they now want to suppress the voice of the people, they raise the blackmail of NSAS. The NSAS should be a thing of shame for the Nigerian government. It murdered its own citizens in cold blood. The world knows it, even though they continue to help us deny it. They know it. I saw people injured, people who have lost limbs. I saw families who have lost children. This government paid some of them, and yet they keep denying it. So when they bring up NSAS, let's be clear. NSAS was a protest. It did not come with an end in sight.
Yeah.
The Nigerian people went to the polls in record numbers. I saw the fictitious number they are raising in Lagos, talking about Labour Party winning in Lagos, thinking that they can play some silly blackmail game.
Yeah, it's
we
a game.
beat the landlord of Bodilon, black and blue.
It's
Imagine couldn't have been less
it's
than
a game.
70%.
It's a game plan.
How can we have
They just want
such
to
a high
camouflage people.
turnout of voters where we were counting
They want
votes
to
of
camouflage people that are okay. Let them be their one in their home, but they know how to shovel everything.
Because everything about the figures are fictitious.
It's
So
a game
when
plan.
they talk about NSAS and these are two different issues. NSAS was protesting police brutality. Some of us were not part of it. We only became later day joiners because of what happened afterwards. This one is different.
Exactly.
We are saying, oh yeah, different. Yeah, from Bala Blue. So the point is, we've made it clear. We want a change of
Bala Blue.
we want a change of the way
Bala
we
Blue.
are ruled. We want to become citizens. We want
The city
to
boy.
become citizens.
Bala Blue.
And they are denying us the right of citizenship. We trooped out in our numbers. Rain fell on people. My wife didn't vote until age 43. Some people stood for the votes to count at my ward. 1:43 a.m. That was when they finished counting. Some people stood there. People in my ward, Ward 3 Ajiro, they brought generator from their homes. On their heads, they brought generator. We bought drinks for officials. We took care of ourselves. We stood. And then somebody is telling me that all of that does not count. Eunice Atweji, one of our candidates that believe in her papa, she recorded it live. Now they are threatening her life. She has to go into hiding. They are threatening her directly because the state has failed and those to whom it has surrendered his rights as a government.
What a tragedy.
Are threatening the life of a citizen who courageously recorded them in the act.
We told you guys, don't go out, don't believe them.
Is it Tipexing away?
Don't believe in them, they are all liars.
Sorrows of
But
Nigerians
you won't
who
listen
stood
to
on
us.
life. That woman whose head they broke.
That's
They
a
broke
shame.
her head. She was all plastered and bloodied. She still voted. And you want to tell me that INEC says her vote
I'm
does not
exhausted,
count? All the promises about high rev?
Okay, Mr. Delfaratu, I want to ask you this frontally, and this is what has been going through my mind. When you people made your case at the collation center, INEC said, give me facts of what happened. But nobody
What other fact
they
they
able to
want?
present facts. Can you
What
guys...
other fact?
I'm
The
sure
fact
you
is
have
all
collation centers all
in
over
the
the country.
internet.
Your own
It's
personal
there.
collation center. You have all the results spreadsheet from all the
The
words.
fact is there
I'm sure
on the
you have a
internet.
network
That's
of
why it's-
agents everywhere in the
It's
country.
blue and
I'm sure you have
black
all
and
that
blue.
data. Can you please
Black and
give
blue.
them the facts of the matter to make a
Like
good argument? Because the argument I'm seeing on the floor is, oh, INEC should paste the polling units. And can you go one step further to give them the fact to fulfill all righteousness as regards this?
The fact is there. Why are you asking this question? Why are you asking this question? It's like you don't know anything.
My people in Oyo, and I thank my dear grandmother, she used to have this proverb. She says, Alabon of Bini Oyo.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
That's when it's talking about somebody asking a
Abodo
question.
Bini Oyo.
The second one is, she says, Ejo wo adìẹ fẹ́ rò
Àbí
ní court adìẹ.
ẹyọ.
Fẹ́ rò ní court adìẹ. Exactly what is the cockroach going to say in a court presided by head? There is nothing he says that he will not be found guilty. I just told you.
Yeah.
There is zero. I just repeat, zero confidence in the capacity of the Nigerian judiciary to do its work. But some people have elected to take the legal part. All those facts to which you speak would, of course, constitute part of the cases that will be taken before the court if we came to that. But I am explaining to you that there are two angles to this. This is not a legal matter. It's a political matter. The citizenship of a person is first political before it becomes legal. The state must first of all decide whether I am a citizen. I was in recognition of that. The professor at INEC, who cannot conduct any free and fair election, by the way. That is the only reason the man came to Nigerians. He came before you. I wish you would even play this tape. The man came before the whole world and he told us, he said, we will upload results from the polling booth Nigerians as citizens, he kept using that word. Nigerians as citizens will be able to view the result on our IRF portal real time. Now, you've seen you have cameramen, you've seen tons of evidence of brutalized Nigerians, even collation officers. So when they're not speaking to bring facts, facts are issues that you take before courts. Yeah. Those who are going to court will go to court with those facts. Nigerians are not blind. I'm not the only one who knows that our judiciary is incapable of offering justice. I'm probably the only one who has a seat on in your studio, who can say it to you and say it to the face of all of them who have ruined us to the point where we are. I'm not saying anything that all of us do not know. Yeah. So those who want to go to court, we go to court. We all know it. We have no problem with that. And if you remember, I've said repeatedly, we are not calling for protest. We are simply saying that when a thief has carried something bigger than it, the owner needs not panic. Just sit down there and let it carry what it cannot carry now. You want to carry something that requires you asking me to open the door, and I'm sat here with superior firepower. My firepower is my assertion of my citizenship. Okay. I am a citizen.
Okay, I would like you to react beyond the media briefing by Labour Party to some of the interventions by some other stakeholders. Yesterday, President Olusegun Obasanjo issued a statement, raising an alarm about the possibility of chaos, tragedy, confusion in the country. And he called specifically on President Muhammadu Buhari to arrest the drift, to protect, to keep up with his promise that he will leave a legacy of credible elections. And he wants elections cancelled in those places where there's a very terrible discrepancy at the state collation centers and what has been announced in Abuja by the National Collation Center. Similarly, former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, also issued a statement calling for peace and calm and asking INEC to address the grievances that have been raised by Labour Party, People's Democratic Party, and others. So what do you say? What's your reaction to this intervention by specifically these two elder statesmen?
How I wish that General Obasanjo had conducted free and fair elections in 2003.
What is that?
How I wish that he had conducted an even free and much freer election in 2007. Then he would have had the moral ground to stand and none of these cretins who presume to take away my right and those of other Nigerians would dare to do what they have done. But he laid the foundation for the nonsense that they have built upon today. Exactly. But he has told the truth. He has told the truth. Any well-meaning citizen of Nigeria, and that's the problem right there, citizen. Why should General Obasanjo's demand be more sacrosanct than that of Brikila, Taiwo? Why should it be any better or more weightier as a citizen than that of Chukuma? Fact of the matter is that we did not have an election last Saturday.
There's no election.
General Obasanjo simply spoke the truth.
Yeah.
Some people would like that. A lot of people would hate it. I've read comments saying much the same thing, that how can he say this? Yes, they have every right to question his moral authority on the issue. But it does not take away from the validity of the truth that he has told. So the fact is, he is very correct in calling for the... I'm even saying, let's be clear, Mahmoud Yakubu, or whatever his name is, the chairman of INEC, is not worthy of conducting the election of prefectship.
The man is corrupt.
Based on the record of what he did last week,
and
that he cannot even admit to the widespread nature of what all of us can see. So when it comes to what General Obasanjo has said, he's completely correct. Whether those are the solutions or not, we can argue that. But his position as it relates to the freeness and the fairness of that election, oh, come on. I agree with him on his diagnosis of the problem. I might disagree to an extent on the issue of solutions. We can disagree on that, but that's a different ballgame entirely. Now, when you speak to AAA, he heads a committee. I've been privileged to sit in another body that met with that committee once. Eminent men. This is Nigeria. Now, they either stand for something or they stop. Sorry, it's morning and I don't want to use a swear word. They should stop wasting everybody's time. They call it a peace committee. They sign peace accords. Every year they sign peace accords, heads get broken, and they come up with what? Placebos and palliatives, and tell the aggrieved to go to court, maintain the peace. What is peace? The further you run away from the truth, the further you move away from peace.
Yeah, exactly.
If they are a peace committee, they must surely know the place of truth.
Exactly.
In maintaining peace. Let them tell the truth of what they saw and stop talking to people about maintaining peace. The maintenance of peace is in the hand of the state. It is the state itself that has turned rogue and is trampling all over the people that are meant to be citizens. Yeah. And we are talking about peace committee. Of what kind of peace are we talking about? The peace of the graveyard?
Peacemaker.
The peace to be taxed to extinction by a bunch of people who want to continue.
Peacemaker at the roads.
A state where people are fainting in the
thieves.
National Assembly, they are open mic and nothing is happening to anybody. There is complete impunity.
Yeah.
That is the kind of peace they want. The kind of peace where you have God knows how many children slapping the streets of our country without any future, no purpose, nothing. A future with 77 trillion. A future where everything that is good and noble has been trampled underfoot. If we allow this travesty to stand, we might as well give up on Nigeria. What is the point of everything that we have? Look, I spent years, when I was busy urging people to go and register to vote, there was a clown who was busy talking about why should we be asking people to register to vote in a country like Nigeria. Now, you are now saying that it is the wisdom of the clowns that is ruling in a country called Nigeria. Yeah. I spent hours of my life, productive hours, begging people to believe in Nigeria. Go and register to vote. Your vote will count. There is this Beavers thing. We believed, we trusted in the integrity of the word of that.
Let me come over that place. How can you believe a liars? Somebody has been lied to you once, even not once. 2 times, 3 times, they'll be lying for the rest of their life. And you are still believing them that you will hold them for ransom if they didn't do. These people, they are rogues. You can't believe them. You cannot believe them. If you are believing all these rogues, all these crazy people, they will be misleading you. You are the one I should blame. Why are you believing all these liars, all these thieves? They can never change. They can never change. Buhari has been deceiving us. You know, he has been deceiving us 8 years ago. He said we turn dollar to 1 naira to $1. Is that not a lie? He will do change. Where is the change? It's changing for bad, and you are still believing them. It is you, my brother, that I will blame. You cannot be fool. You cannot be fool all the time. You can be fool once, but not all the time. Don't be fool forever. Don't be fool forever. Now you are convincing people that they should come and vote because you believe on them, and let's try them again. That is not so. That is not so. Mr. Dele, you are wrong there. You are very wrong. I'm sorry, you are very wrong to say that. You are not wise enough. Because these people, you know that they are liars. They can't be trusted. They can never be trusted because their whole life is lie. And you say you want to believe them once and for all. It is you that I can blame on this one because you fall into a wrong trap. If somebody lied to me once, I will keep eyes on the person. I will stay focused. I will never let him deceive me once. Yoruba say, you know, the fire that is born, it can never burn you twice unless you are a fool. If you burn you twice, that means you are a totally fool. Only once it can burn you and you feel it. But if you allow them to be burning you That's me, you too, you have lost. So it is you I will blame on that. You know, all these people, they are not capable, you know. They are not competent. They are not competent on that the seat. They are not capable. They are not willing to help the citizen. Only themselves. Yeah, Èmi ló kàn. And you are still believing them that they will provide you what you need. My brother, you need to think twice sometime. Anyway, open up.
In the integrity of his word. Look at what has happened.
All right,
So
Mr.
please,
Faritimi.
I'm sorry, Ayo. Let me just finish this. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Faritimi, I can understand how you're feeling. It's quite, emotions are high at this point. And that's what the APC also
all these
alludes
things
to.
that, you know, they'll be telling you.
Parties,
you know,
opposition parties like the Labour Party, yourselves, and PDP are crying foul because they are not winning the elections. So when they announced the elections in Lagos, the results in Lagos State, for instance, and when you won some seats in the National Assembly, you didn't say anything. You didn't think there were issues with IREV and the announcement of the results. But when the APC then wins a state or wins a seat, then there are cries as to how fraudulent these elections are. That's one part of the question I'd like you to respond to. They're saying that the response, it's just being sore losers, that you're not happy that you have lost in these areas or with these seats, and so that's why you're making a fuss about it. The second part of it is this, still going back to the statement released by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, where he calls on the president. So we had quite a conversation earlier when we talked about who the buck stops with. The INEC chair has been called out a number of times. He proceeds to call out the president and invites him to wade into this matter, even on the record of his legacy. What would you say about this? Should the president be taking action? And if indeed he should, what do you expect from him at this point?
First thing first. One of the reasons the Nigerian state weaponized ignorance against the Nigerian is because it wants to be able to offer them simple ideas, because it has stupefied them and turned them into simpletons who are able to grasp basic ideas. So it introduces things like this nonsense that they just said now. When we were winning in Lagos, we did not complain, but when we started losing in other places, we are now complaining. They are idiots. I'm sorry to use that word, please pardon me. But that is not meant as an abuse. It's a description of those who will bring something like that to the public space. When you are arguing with the simpletons when they are arguing with their simpletons, they should feel free to say those kind of things. When you are talking to me, understand that I didn't go through a debauched educational system. I'm able to think. Here is the thing. As early as around 2 o'clock on the day, I am on record. I went on all my social media platforms and I was making clear that INEC has compromised the integrity of this election. Because the basis of an electoral process is trust. And that trust actually presumes that the state functions and the citizen has security to act whilst voting. We're talking about a situation where some people sat down somewhere and decided what to allocate. And then somebody is saying that this is hypocrisy. What is the hypocrisy we are talking about? That we are speaking to the evidences of our own eyes? Something Nigerians, international observers are saying the same thing. Nigerians are saying the same thing. The only people rejoicing are direct beneficiaries and the simpletons that they have managed to convince that this is for real. That is on one side. They can yell hypocrisy all they care. That is for them. I don't know what they mean by hypocrisy, whether that means an inability to accept their preferred narrative. That's up to them. We are saying that even the Lagos that they allocated to us, thinking that that would be a way to assuage, is not gainsaying that the total number of votes cast in Lagos that they couldn't have been less than double of what they declared. And that is in spite of suppression and everything. So when they are saying that, it's just more nonsense to be fed to simpletons to be arguing over. It's not an argument for anybody with sense. It is clear on the evidence. Even if you declare Obi the winner of this election, it's already fundamentally flawed. So I'm not speaking to their charge of hypocrisy. It's a red herring and an obvious one at that. So let's deal with the issue of Buhari's intervention. Because we continue to pretend that Nigeria is a state with citizens, we continue to underestimate the capacity of the Nigerian president to do and undo a lot of things. Obasanjo, in writing his letter, was speaking directly to something that he knows to be true. The Nigerian president is essentially the Sultan of Nigeria. He does as he pleases. I'm not begging Buhari to cancel election I'm not begging him. People can talk to him. That's up to him. He created this mess. How he resolves the mess is up to him. The one thing that is not going to happen is that we would help them to deodorize the skunk. There is no way that we would accept the legitimacy of this election. What the courts do or do not do, that's entirely up to the courts. Whoever they swear in on the basis of this election will be sorely lacking in legitimacy. When it comes to brigandage, few elections in my lifetime can match this one. I'm not too sure if 1983 could be said to be worse than this. That's one. Second, no election in my lifetime has seen such brazen collusion on the part of the electoral umpire in the conduct of election. So when they are begging Buhari they are asking him to save his own legacy and to save Nigeria. We have made clear, we are not going to call for protests. If and when we come to the bridges that we need to cross, we'll be telling all our people, but for now, we maintain our position. This election is completely lacking in credibility. Our people should avoid any provocation that suggests to them, any prompt to protest. Please, for now, stay in your space. We are percolating the issues. When we get to the point, we'll speak. But for now, stay away from any protest. For we are not fighting. Our own is that there is no legitimacy in this process. Buhari can do whatever he cares. It's up to him. Or it's not today. They know what they know what to do when they want to do what they have always done. But as far as we are concerned, this madness stops now.
I'd like to ask you this. You've posed a scenario that pretty much reminds me of famously Pyros of Epiros himself. After he gets a victory, but when you look at all that he has lost before the victory, you look at it and you say, was it even a legitimate victory in the first place? So you've posed that scenario like Pyros had, his Pyrrhic victory. You've also posed the scenario of forlorn hope in the institutions. INEC has failed in your words. You don't trust the courts. Then what's the way forward in a circumstance where you have Pyrrhic victory and forlorn hope on the same pedestal, and Nigeria hangs in the balance?
Well, Rufi, I've always loved your classic takes on your questions. And this one related to Pyrrhic is actually quite on all fours with our situation. A man declares that he has had a lifelong ambition to rule Nigeria.
Yeah.
And in seeking to achieve his lifelong dreams, he will probably have to walk through the ruination of the country he claims to have wished to rule. That's on one hand. General Buhari had an abbreviated rule from January 1, 84 until the wily one in Mina removed him. And then he spent so many years chasing after a return. And then he finally returned on the in the blaze of glory. 2015.
Top up.
On the wings of hope. Promised change.
Give us
and he failed on
share.
Each and every one of the promises that he gave Nigerians.
Welcome aboard.
Nigerians. The people of Kankara, they are Fulanis, they are not Yorubas, they are not of my ethnic stock.
Comment.
But he failed them. He failed the people of Zamfara, those in the northeast.
They are given the president to run people.
Material particular.
APC again.
He became the protector of rogues and thieves.
It's a ridiculous one.
Now, under his watch, Nigeria has been stolen blind. And nothing has happened to any of those thieves. This is his final hour.
I saw you.
It is up to him to decide whether he wants to go down in history.
Love you, bro.
As the president who finally finished Nigeria.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
I remember saying some years back that I hope Buhari will not be the last president of Nigeria. And I sincerely pray that he is not. I love this country. It's up to Buhari to decide how he wants to be remembered. But it's not looking good. He might have won the presidency, but he might also be the one who engraves the tombstone of the country known as Nigeria.
Exactly.
Fact is, you can't build anything on injustice and lies. So when they speak to victory, I don't wonder what kind of victory, because it's going to turn to ashes in their mouths. That's on one fact. The second thing is about failed institutions. A state does not fail on its own. It's usually the institutions that will fail first. And Nigeria has been a state that has been failing in slow motion for a while. And the latest episode, which might very well be the last installment in this tragic story, and I pray that it is not, is the one where the citizens were given hope. That's the word again, citizens. Let me stop using the word. The people were giving hope. The government convinced us. Some of us were not really convinced, but we told the people, let's follow this path. Those who were killed after they sought citizenship in their protest in NSAS, we convinced them not to worry, believe. We can change this evil system if only you believe. They've promised us beavers. Go and get your PVC. People believed. They got their PVC. There is a difference between trusting, knowing, and believing. They believed because there wasn't any evidence upon which to base those beliefs. They believed. That is how institutions are built, when the people believe in the capacity of the institution to do that which it has promised to do. Nobody, no electoral umpire in the history of Nigeria has raised the hopes of Nigerians like this man. And none has been more careless, most contemptuous of his own word. Not even our own rights now, because we are looking to become citizens. We already acknowledge the lack of rights. But we thought we could believe in him and his words, and then elect to follow that path. We followed that path in belief. And he has dashed it with careless abandon. So how do you believe in such an institution? INEC, whatever credibility it might have been earning for itself, and it has never earned much with me until it brought this beaver stain. And then it failed.
Exactly.
So how do you believe in such an institution? Then you speak to the judiciary. Look, I had never had any illusion about Nigeria being a country ruled by law. And I've said this repeatedly. It's always the maintenance of impunity that has kept Nigeria as one and in relative peace, even though we've been in a slow-burn civil war in this country for a while. So if people were brought to the point where we were told that this would be the way to go, and the man said he's not running in this election, so he will guarantee Nigerians free and fair elections. He said so repeatedly to the hearing of all Nigerians and the international community. Even you as journalists, you've seen more evidence of this madness than I have seen, even though I've been in situation rooms. Fact of the matter is that you do not build institutions by breaking your word, by refusing to build on truth. You don't build institutions like that. Our institutions have failed simply because we, as Nigerians, have continued to believe that there can be two standards, one for us and one for the rest of the world. This is the dividing line. This particular one is the dividing line. And we want. All the time we were begging people to go and register to vote. All the time we were asking them to trust the system. We equally told them, when they fail to recognize the sanctity of your vote, we would at that point be coming into a head-on collision between our will and a captive state. Because you would have to tell me that I'm not a citizen. We can't continue pretending that I'm a citizen. You cannot build institutions in the absence of citizenship, because citizenship cannot be found in the absence of the rule of law. Okay. Nigeria is not ruled by law. What does that say about our courts?
Okay.
The police?
I would like to ask you.
Please. We have failed woefully at building institutions.
Okay, we take a quick break.
I will stop here, bro. Okay.